Hello, hello, we are live. All right, let's see if this is working. Hey everybody, it's Leslie. When you are here, say hi. So here's the dealio, yo. I am not on the camera, that's crazy. I'm always on the camera, but we are rocking. I'm just checking my computer to make sure it's working, and it is. So you will see my hands today. You will see the canvas. You will see all the paints, and I'm going to show you how to do a paint pouring. So first of all, I am using this size canvas. I don't even know what size it is. I tape the sides. See that masking tape? So it kind of leaves a little edge. See that edge? To catch the paint. And so I was going to show you, I already did most of the sides, but I'm going to do the last bit and just show you. I just tear off a piece of the masking tape and stick it along the side so there's a little edge. This way you're not wasting a ton of paint. So I'm going to move the canvas to the side and I'm going to show you the paints. So this is the ready to pour. You can see they're all really painty. This is Deco Art Ready to Pour. These are thinned out paints. I get them at Michael's. They come in big sizes and they come in, I get the big size in the black and the white, and then littler sizes in the colors, and then they even come in tinier in case you don't want a lot of that color. I also have these from Artist Loft that are ready to go pouring paints. And then I have these that are metallics that are not ready to go pouring paints, but still fun. So I also make sure I have cups from the dollar store, okay? So I just buy packs and packs of cups from the dollar store, and I'm gonna show you how to mix my paints, because even though these say ready to pour, you still need to thin them out. I like to thin them out. So I'm gonna put my gloves on. I got a box of these fancy gloves at Target. I wish they sold these at the dollar store because that would be awesome possum. You guys, it's so weird for me not to have my face on camera. This is crazy. So I've squirted a little bit of the paint, probably about, just to cover the bottom of the cup. You want to make sure your paints are thinned out. If they're too thick, they're going to be gloppy, they're not going to pour, they're not going to run off the canvas the way you want. So some people mix with different things. I buy this from Home Depot. It's a big old gallon of stuff. It's a big old gallon of Floetrol. They sell smaller versions of it. And then if you are just starting, you can also get something like this from Michael's. Anything that says pouring medium on it. But I think this was like $8 or $9 from Michael's. So that was pretty expensive. This you can get at the Home Depot and it'll last you a bunch of pours. So I shake this bad boy up, and then I am going to, see how there's just a little bit of black in there? I'm gonna mix about 4 times the amount of paint, right? So I have 1 part paint and about 4 parts of the Floetrol. Can you guys see me pouring this in? This is weird. I used to do makeup tutorials every day, so it was just my smiley happy face on camera. So this feels crazy to not have my face on camera, but don't worry, I'll show my face at the end. Well, only if the painting turns out well. So I am pouring in, and you guys, I just eyeball it because this is not a professional thing. Okay, so I've got those in, and then I buy these little sticks, also from the dollar store. Looks like this. They call them wood batons, which makes them extra fancy. And then you're gonna just mix these bad boys up. And you can see that the Floetrol just thins the paint out. It doesn't change the color. It just thins the paint out. So that way the consistency is super, super easy to pour. And if you guys are making comments and stuff, unfortunately I will have to answer them after, but feel free to ask questions. This is a cool rose gold. Isn't that pretty? Ooh, I love that. Make sure they're thoroughly mixed. And then the white. So I'll tell you how I got obsessed with this. Desiree, old people call them tongue depressors. Yes, girl, I'm gonna take this tongue depressor and then I'm gonna take your temperature up your butt. Because that's what happened, right? That's what happened. Man, no more of this like scanning people's foreheads for temperatures. I'm in the car for school pickup. Can't wait to try this. I can see some of the comments. So this purple, I'm gonna see if I can get it a little deeper. I'm gonna add some more of the paint. And I'm gonna see if I can get that a little bit of a deeper purple. But if not, that's cool. Because the colors will just magically become awesome. So I have a friend, her name's Melissa Granada White, and I don't know if she's watching, but she's a DIYer and she's awesome. And she like does all this stuff. And so she was like, I'm gonna do a paint pouring. And I was like, what intonation is that? So she created this beautiful piece of art. And I was like, well, if Melissa Granada White can do it, I can do it. Which is probably not really the case because she's really, really good at stuff. But I was like, okay, I went to the store and I bought like this kind of jazz right here, these ready to pour paints. And I didn't realize that I had to thin them out, and I poured them on a canvas and I was like super unhappy. I was like, oh my gosh, these are terrible. So I started to watch YouTube videos on how to do it. And then you know how Facebook works. As soon as I watched those YouTube videos, Facebook targeted me and they were like, girl, you need to join all these paint pouring groups. So I got these notifications for all these groups and I was like, all right, I got nothing to do. So I'm gonna join all these groups and learn how to paint pour. And I became initially and literally immediately obsessed. So we have our paints. I'm gonna move these off to the side. I'm going to bring out 3 new cups. So with this size canvas, this is, I don't know, I have to look it up, a 10 by 20? I don't know, let me see. Let me check really quick just so I can let you guys know for sure. And I'll show you which ones I buy. I get these at Michael's, 10 by 20, you get 6 of them. Sometimes they're on sale for like 10 bucks. I got these 6 for 10 bucks. So it's an easy way to experiment. And I find with this size canvas, I need 3 cups of paint. So to get that kind of striated, kind of otherworldly, kind of geode-like, some people say they look like outer space, we're gonna layer our colors in these cups. And we're gonna use 3 of them and kind of split the canvas into thirds. So when you're thinking about what you want your canvas to turn out to look like, think about where you want to place certain things. Like, do you want it to be really light in the middle and then darker on each side? Or do you want it to go dark, medium, light? Or do you want to have maybe like a shock of pink in the middle, right? You got to have a little bit of forethought. So with my colors, I want to keep this blue, these blues and golds here, and maybe this black and purple, pink, and then I'm gonna like intermix with some white. So what I want to do is I want to start pouring into these cups and we're gonna layer the paint. So in terms of paint consistency, you see how this kind of like slides off the stick? So people say that this is like warm honey, melted ice cream, right? So you want it to be this kind of consistency. You see that? Okay. So I'm going to take and I'm going to kind of pour down the side of the cup so it leaves a little mark on the side of the cup. You see how I'm doing that? See how there's that little mark on the side of the cup? And then I'm going to take another color and I'm going to pour it again down the side of the cup. You can use just a little bit or you can kind of maybe more the bottom of the cup. You see that? So then I'll do a little bit of blue, this like kind of tealy color, a little bit of white. And we're just going to continue to layer these. And they can go in any order you want. Or you can follow the same order. Okay, so you see how pretty that looks in there? Can you guys see that? See how it's creating kind of those rings? This is so fun. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. All right, so I'm gonna leave that alone for just a second. And then I'm gonna pour some into this middle cup. I'll do purple. And then maybe a titch of black. Careful with black, it can kind of like take over your whole life and all of your painting. So I'm gonna do just a little bit of that. I'm gonna come in with my white. And I mean, if you wanna get good at this and like really think about what you're doing, that is awesome. Or if you're like me and you're like, hey, let's just see what happens. Kind of like how I run my regular life. Let's just see what happens, right? You can get, just pour whatever you feel like. I love this pink, so I'm gonna use a little bit extra of that. And I'm gonna come back in with this beautiful purple. So then I started like watching and joining all these groups. So there's one that's called Passionate for Paint Pouring, and you guys can join that group. It's super awesome. And the stuff that people make, and then I'm just gonna go back in here a little bit. The stuff that people make is like literally mind-blowing. Like literally mind-blowing. I've posted a few of my pieces in there, but usually I'm just like embarrassed because their stuff is like incredible. So Passionate for Paint Pouring is one. And then if you want to learn like more, you know, technique stuff, like you're like, okay, that's cool, Les, but I want to learn something a little bit extra. If you guys like this and want me to start doing demos on like other styles, just let me know, because this is super fun for me and it's really kind of a nice outlet, a little bit cathartic, and it's great stress relief. Like sometimes when I put my son Connor down to bed and I'm like, should I watch TV? And I'm like, no, let's go make a painting. It's super fun. Ooh, this one looks cool. Like I'd like some like outfits in this color, like some outfits. And then you can just kind of go through and like start seeing little cool color combos developing and you're like, ooh, yeah, I like that. I like that. Let's see. And I try not to use too many of the same color combos in each cup, but you can. I mean, you can literally do whatever you want, you guys. There's no rule. Sky's the limit. Just pour them down the sides so you get that beautiful drippy thing on the side, because that's gonna help when we pour it onto the canvas. And so you want to make sure, depending on what size cups you're using, these are smaller than I found last time. Last time when I went to the dollar store, they had these littler ones. So I need to fill these a little bit more than I do with the bigger cups. And you'll kind of get a handle on how much paint you need to use. Oh my gosh, you guys, these are gonna be so pretty. Who's excited? Who's doing this with me? Who bought the supplies? Who ran out and was like, girl, I'm getting those supplies because Leslie said we need to have supplies. So, all right. So I think that is probably enough. I'm going to move my paints over to the side. And I did forget to point out and wanted to mention that I laid out plastic. You guys see how this is plastic wrapped on top of my counter. And the plastic I also get at the dollar store. It's a drop cloth. They sell them in the hardware part of the dollar store. And then I just cut them with scissors. All right, so now I'm gonna bring our canvas back. Awesome sauce. What if it's not like honey? Shanna, add more Floeterol, add more pouring medium. Okay, now, you see how these guys, these are so cool. All right, I'm gonna look at them for a second and I'm gonna say that I feel like I want this really cool one in the middle and then these on the sides. So I'm gonna put these up here and I'm gonna take my one that I want in the middle. And you see all that beautiful paint in that corner? I'm gonna make that my pour spout and just go like this. And then this is called a ring pour. Yeah, you can also add water to thin it out, Shanna. Thank you, Laura. Yeah, you can add water to thin it out. I don't use water because they say you should use distilled water because tap water has stuff in it. So if you have like a water filter or bottled water, distilled water, you can do that. So now we're gonna start pouring really slowly onto the canvas. And we're gonna go in a circular motion. See how my hand is making little circles on the canvas? Oh my gosh, this is gonna be so pretty. So circle, circle, slow, slow, slow. If you get closer to the canvas, it makes the pour a little bit bigger. You see how it changes what's happening? And then if you come farther away, it changes it again. So experiment with where you're pouring from, how high off the canvas, and then I just go circle, 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 and this is like the cathartic part because you're like, and you see all these beautiful colors developing, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is super, super fun. And if you go closer, you make the design a little bit bigger. So I try to like vary it a little bit. And you want to pour pretty much in the middle of the canvas and just be consistent with your size of inner circle. Oh, you guys, I almost started singing The Lion King, but I will. In the circle, circle of life. Ah, yes, this is so pretty. Oh my gosh. Okay, who's having fun? Raise your hand. Type fun in the comments if you're having fun. And you guys, I swear to gosh, this is so easy and it's really, really fun. I tried to make my kid do it. I tried to make Connor do it. He was playing a video game and he was like, I can't, I'm too tired. And I was like, all right, son, one day you will do this with me. And I think it's really just a beautiful way to express yourself. Okay, and here's the truth of the matter, y'all. I can't draw. I've never been artistic. Like, that's just not my deal. And now I have like a Michaels account and I get these like, they're like, you've spent $1 million at Michaels. Here's a $5 coupon. And I get super, super, super excited. So you're nearing the end of your cup. I like to get real close and do some big fast circles. You see how that changes the dynamic of the pattern? Circle, 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 and then just get all that beautiful paint out of the cup. You can see how cool the cup looks on the inside. See? Can you guys see that? Let me pick it up. Can you see all those beautiful colors working? Almost looks like outer space. I moved it, but whatever, it's fine. It's fluid art. Second cup, we're gonna do the same exact thing, y'all. Same exact thing. So if you have to go to the bathroom, this is a good time. So you can watch me pour this one out. But see the difference in color? Like, it's so cool. And then this one's almost looking like Earth from like outer space. Okay, so I copied my friend Melissa Granada White that made a beautiful paint pouring thing. And then I was like, I'm doing that too because when I grow up, I want to be just like her. And then I got obsessed, and then I started buying all these canvases. Oh, here's the funny part. So my son is 10, he's almost 11, and he just started school. But when I was like super obsessed and it was right before school started, like literally we were going to Michael's every day. He was like, Mom, please, no more Michael's. And I was like, sorry, son, you're too young to be left home alone, so you got to come with me. And he was like, man, I can't wait till I'm 12. And I was like, yeah, I don't know if I trust leaving that kid here alone. But if you're a mom and you have like a 10, 11, 12-year-old, you know, if you give them, you know, a Nintendo Switch or let them play their Game Boy, like they're good to go. So he was upset about having to go to Michael's with me every single day. And then downstairs in our bonus room, it's kind of an office, and I didn't have any place to like store all of this art that I was creating. So it's everywhere in there. And he went down there the other day to work on his story because he likes to write. He goes, Mom, there's not even a place to sit. He's like, when are you going to stop? And I said, I don't know, kid. I might not ever stop. So you see how layering the cups will give you dramatically different color patterns. Like this I'm obsessed with. This looks like Earth from like the moon. You can also see like little things start to develop. Those are called cells. Lots of people add silicone to their paint, any sort of oil, even like a little drop of shampoo that has dimethicone or any sort of like oil in it would work. I have silicone oil. That's right here. But I haven't really gotten the results that I desire with it. So mainly I just leave it out. The Floeterol, that mix. Ooh, look at that pink coming out. The Floeterol actually acts as a cell activator too. And by cells, I mean those like, they kind of look like amoebas, like something that you would see under a microscope. All right, yes, dog. So these paints are running in together, totally fine. Get all that last bit of love out of there. Super. And then, look at this. See, that's already developing some little cells in there. Do you see those? You see those little dots? So this should be, I know it is mesmerizing, right? That's why I love doing this, like especially at night after Connor's in bed. Because I'm just like, I just stand here and I just pour my paint and it's super soothing. This would be great for kids, for focus, attention, kind of, calming. Because it really is calming. And it's not difficult. It gets a little messy, so you do want to have your plastic down. And then I'll show you the reason why we use the tape around the canvas. Because that prevents, you see how the paint on the far right, the one I just poured, see how it's kind of pulling up against that tape? The tape is keeping the paint on the canvas so it doesn't slip off. And then you lose a lot of paint that way. You can lose a lot of design work and designability. Ooh, that one on the right, that purple, blue, gray, that looks like a galaxy. You guys, this is gonna be a super fun one. So if you're liking this, give me a shout out. If you think that you have friends that would like to do this, we could book like a paint night and I can send everybody like a list of like supplies. We can do it on Zoom. We can all get together. You guys could drink some wine, have some shots of tequila, and do like a fun girls' night, I don't know if there's any men that watch me. If there are, they're secretly watching. So I usually don't get a lot of comments from men on my Facebook. I do get a lot of weird men friend requests though, so that needs to stop. So this one is going to be super pretty too. Oh my gosh. And when you're actually doing this, if you guys are doing this with me, you can see how glossy it is, how beautiful. When they dry matte. And you can finish them with spray or varnish. I learned how to use epoxy, like a resin, and I've done it on 2 of my paintings, and that kind of brings back this beautiful shine, which I really, really like. But that's, you know, that's a personal choice. You can let them dry. I'm gonna go closer to this one and see if we can bring out a little bit more pattern depth. Listen to me, you guys. I sound like a real artist. Pattern depth. That's made up, you guys. I totally just made that up. I haven't done a live in so many years. This is super fun. I can't believe so many people are watching. And you can share this if you want, if you think like people on your wall would be into this and like get into it. Woo, doggy, what's happening? I'll say whoop, whoop. If you guys could see me right now, you would know I would just be like, yeah, what's happening here? I see you all, ladies. Okay, so I'm gonna pick this up very carefully, and I'm gonna try to come up and show you guys. Look at these beautiful rings. Look at that. That's bomb. That's amazing. Okay, so I do sound like an artist. Gee, awesome. So you see now,